Hi, this is Shelley Kraft, and we're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium in Vancouver 2014. This young man next to me is Bob Foster from Stratex International. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbol is STI. It's on the AIM out of London. Welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. Let's get an overall on Stratex, and we'll start with that.
Stratex was listed on the AIM stock exchange in 2006. Our major focus at that time was an exploration play in Turkey. We've since grown that exploration play to multiple projects. And in fact now really Turkey is becoming or heading towards being effectively a production hub. We've also moved into East Africa where we have exploration interests there. That we're probably going to share with a Middle Eastern-based company in the future. And since then, we've also focused more on West Africa in Senegal. We have a very exciting exploration program there.
Now, on the one hand, you're in places that no one else is going to, but you must have an idea behind the madness.
Well, I'd hope so, Shelley. I mean, that's what we're paid to do. Turkey is our first port of call, an excellent place to explore in terms of fantastic geology, major metallogenic belts swooping through sort of Eastern Europe, through Turkey and beyond to Iran and further afield. So we knew it was a good place to be, to go and explore, and we found. We found a 1 million ounce gold deposit, which we subsequently brought Centerra into, the TSX listed company, and they funded much of the exploration work which we managed. Ultimately, they earned to 70% of a 1 million ounce gold deposit. We sold the 30% remaining to them for $20 million plus a 20 million cap royalty when production starts, hopefully in 2016. And at that point, we were well placed to move elsewhere. Eastern Africa, our particular focus there really was the Rift Valley. The area, the lower area occupied by the Red Sea as a result of Saudi Arabia effectively moving away from Africa. We identified that area as potentially very similar to southern Argentina, Patagonia, where major low sulfidation gold deposits had been found 20 years earlier. We felt that the Rift Valley offered an analogue, and certainly when we got there, we found multiple systems. We've drilled some of those systems. We've been supported heavily by AngloGold Ashanti, who are now almost a 12% shareholder. They shared our view that that Rift Valley, on the basis of their exploration and success in Patagonia years before, was a very good focus indeed. We've continued with that work, but more recently we have actually switched also direction to West Africa. West Africa has been through 2 and possibly in its 3rd exploration phase. Starting way back, I guess, kicked off in 1986 in Ghana and moved westwards. Multiple discoveries throughout West Africa and still being made, but we had the opportunity to actually acquire a license in eastern Senegal, a sort of golden triangle between eastern Senegal and western Mali, where Randgold, IAMGold and others have made multiple discoveries. And we have a very exciting exploration play there. Drill results reported quite recently, and we look forward to taking this one much further.
You know, I know you run the company, but you speak like a geologist.
I am a geologist, and in fact the 2 key founders of the company, myself and David Hall, are both geologists with a long history in exploration and mining as well. And so we were a good partnership to take this forward. We have very flat management. The directors, particularly David and myself, are on the ground regularly. We have good exploration managers in the regions, but we like to get on the ground, kick the rocks, and confirm that the right decisions are being made, in our opinion.
So what type of resources are you having as an asset?
Our major resource base at the moment is gold. We have the Altın Tepe project in Turkey, which is a slightly modest, perhaps a 500,000 ounce gold deposit, mostly oxide and transition material, but with a deeper sulfide resource yet to be tapped. The very neat thing as far as we're concerned here is that we have a Turkish partner which is taking us to production at no cost to ourselves, on the basis that taking this mine to production, they will ultimately acquire 55% of the project. We remain with 45%. We're looking to production at the end of this year. We're working closely with our partners, although they, of course, are driving the technical side largely and funding it entirely. and they will see accelerated payback out of 80% of net cash, and we will see 20%. But nevertheless, that cash flow will be a welcome addition. And of course, ultimately, we anticipate our other project sold to Centerra in Turkey will realize a royalty in 2016 onwards, depending, of course, when Centerra put that project into production. We think this places us very well to take the company forward in terms of long-term cash flow, but in the meantime, a pipeline of really good exploration projects coming through in the short term.
Now, are you satisfied with what you're exploring right now, or do you have that feeling to go out and look for more in other places?
Never satisfied, but although we're well cashed, we do have to remain very focused on not spreading our wealth and our expenditure too wide. We have actually just announced just a couple of days ago, effectively getting a 30% position in another AIM-listed company called Goldstone, which has a 600,000 ounce gold resource in Ghana, situated on one of the world's best mineralized belts, which hosts the 42 million ounce Obuasi gold deposit owned by Anglo Gold. And we see a potential there, not only of fast-tracking this resource into some sort of higher degree of confidence level and ultimately production, at least, of the oxide material, but we see an ideal environment in which to accumulate a land package in one of the most exciting parts of the world. A point actually made by Rick himself in the introduction today about taking advantage of opportunities like this where companies, for better or for worse, have not been able to progress what they've delivered.
So, Bob, I wanted to ask you another question. Where does the name Stratex come from?
I'm afraid, Shelley, it's relatively straightforward. It's a combination of strategic and exploration, basically using hopefully our intellectual gifts, our knowledge of where to find mineral deposits, putting the two together, and hence the Stratex International.
And what is your website for our audience?
www.stratexinternational.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Foster of Stratex International. It's a publicly traded company, STI on the AIM out of London. I'm Shelley Craft, this is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from Sprott's Natural Resource Symposium here in Vancouver 2014. Again, Bob, thanks for coming on to SNNLive.
Thank you very much indeed, Shelley.
Good to have you.